you to not be first?
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined on the red carpet by Raven Chapman. Very good to see you. Been a while. How are we?
Yeah, and you. Been really good. Bit hot, obviously, this week, as everyone is. But yeah, been nice. Been chilling since the fight and just ticking over and back to basics, really.
You never complain about a red carpet, but they've picked the worst week because everyone's dressed up and it's boiling.
Yeah, I feel a little bit for the people who are a bit more suited and booted. Obviously, I can choose a dress, which makes it a little bit easier, but I'm still roasting, so yeah, interesting.
I feel sorry for Tyson and the free piece. Let's talk about this fight. Comes with its criticism, of course, because Tyson's taking time out of boxing and there's world titles that people want to get their hands on, and I get there's a lot around that, but you only have to look around here. This is absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's still a huge thing. Obviously, Ngannou's huge in MMA, just like Tyson's huge in boxing. Obviously, as a fan, it's frustrating because, like you say, you want them to have those title fights, those championship, the unifies, the undisputed, and it's frustrating when you can see it. It's just that touch and reach, and it just never quite happens. But you know, it's one of them. This is still a fight that will sell, and people will be intrigued in.
Are you much of an MMA fan?
I do watch MMA. I've dabbled a little bit myself, not massively, but you know, I've done a little bit of my time. So it's going to be interesting, you know. Ngannou's been training with Mike Tyson, and he's one of my favourites, as everyone knows. So if he can bring anything of a replication of Mike Tyson in terms of that head movement and that aggression, he could make it a really hard night for Fury.
Do you think you could kind of look at it perhaps the other way? Yes, he's training with Mike and learning his boxing trade, but I guess an MMA fighter has them weird kinks about him that a boxer perhaps might not expect. So could he be better perhaps sticking to what he knows and being unpredictable?
Yeah, 100%. You know, when you're against someone like that, their stance is different, their punches come from somewhere different. Sometimes the more awkward, not technically correct boxer is harder than the one who is, because you just cannot read where those shots are going to be coming from or what the next move is going to be. And, you know, I think for both of them, neither of them would have fought anyone like the other person. But it's hard to say because we've never really seen Ngannou purely do boxing. We've seen him MMA, obviously phenomenal MMA fighter. So it's intriguing. I'm intrigued.
I can't help but think about you saying you've dabbled in MMA a bit. I know you've got your boxing career to deal with, world titles to be won. It's not done yet. But there's MMA fights out there then, is that what you're telling me?
Oh yeah, that's it. PFL, come to me.
Who isn't signed with the PFL? It's like the thing to do now.
Next thing, isn't it? Yeah, I'd love to do a little bit more in terms of MMA. I love the grappling side of stuff. I love doing the jiu-jitsu. Something I'm actually going back to now while I'm kind of ticking over in camp, just doing light technique, flowing in BJJ myself. So something that I enjoy. For me, that's fun. Boxing, as much as I enjoy and I love it, it's also work, you know. So as a hobby, I'm doing jiu-jitsu on the side. So just for when I do eventually transverse over to MMA.
PFL, come calling, but not yet. In terms of your work then, boxing, when do we next get to see you out and kind of tell everyone the details about that?
So I'll definitely be out before Christmas, hopefully. What was meant to be planned for the next one is kind of had a spanner thrown in the works now that Ramos beat Karabajal, and Ramos has now been ordered to fight Serrano. So we're going to have to go down a different route, different sort of world title route. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what Frank comes up with next. But it'll be some kind of eliminator, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm loving the journey at the moment. There are a lot of people loving the journey. I see you put something on Instagram or reshared it, and it was it a Daily Mirror article when it said you're kind of the one who changed Frank Warren's mind. I know, you know, we love female boxing, but you must kind of like that stance that you're kind of, you are the one, I guess, who changed Frank Warren's mind.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, you know, Frank won't turn around and say he likes female boxing. So he'd be a hypocrite to say that he's always liked female boxing. But for him to turn around and say, but I do really like Raven, then, you know, I'm doing something right.
It's wicked, it's wicked. Just one more thing from me. Serrano, 12 threes. Something you're for or against?
Definitely for. I think as an athlete and as a fighter, you want to just be doing what's a normal, if you like, championship fight. As a fan, I do think fans enjoy the 2 minutes because it's fast-paced, there's a lot of action, and it goes by really quickly. You know, that attention span stays the whole way through. So I can see the argument for both sides, but yeah, as an athlete and as a fighter, definitely the 12 threes.
Choose to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 17, 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,